Welcome back to the Chicago White Sox franchise. Last time out, we had a mammoth episode. We got through the draft, we got through all the All-Star stuff, and we checked in on where things stand at the All-Star break, the standings, league leaders, dipped a little bit into our own stats. And now today we'll be coming out of the All-Star break, and we have 2 weeks almost exactly until the trade deadline. So I don't know if it'll take 2 or 3 episodes to get through the trade deadline, but we're gonna have some decisions to make, and I'll talk about that very soon here. But the first thing I wanted to do is a screen that I did forget to look at when we were checking up on our team's stats last episode, is just like the main stat screen. I kind of just showed a couple of players. I wanted to check in on the team stats as a whole, so I just want to go through a couple of things here. We'll start offensively, just sorting by home runs. We've got Montgomery leading the team with 18. Vargas, Teal, and Baldwin have all reached double digits now. We also have Murakami, Hayes, Sosa at 9. Mydroth has 8. Acuna has 7. Benintendi at 6. And then the only person who hasn't gone deep yet is Edgar Caro, but he's been on the team the least amount of time. Just a quick overview of the batting averages. We only have 4 dudes over a 250. Doesn't automatically mean everybody under 250 is doing bad. Like Montgomery and Mydroth are both doing pretty solid this year. But some guys like Vargas, he's dipped a little bit. Acuna's never really figured it out. Benintendi is just a disappointment. And then the big one, scrolling all the way over to wins above replacement. Kyle Teal leads the team with 3.7. So he's probably on pace to finish the season around 7 wins above replacement. That's really good. Montgomery also doing pretty solid with a 2.7. Mydroth with a 2.2. And I don't even think he's playing to his fullest potential. We did talk about him last episode. I won't do it again. But those are the only 3 position players over a 1, and they're all over a 2. Then we got Baldwin, Sosa at 0.9, Acuna at 0.8, so his defense, it must be pretty solid to carry some value there, because he just doesn't really hit. And then the negatives, Lee, Vargas, Murakami, Hill, all negative 0.1. The Murakami one we also talked about. I really think it's just because he just makes a weird amount of errors, and I've never been able to figure that out. And then the bottom 2 where it gets real bad. Benintendi at -1, and then Austin Hayes at -2.1. Ridiculous. Onto the pitchers, we'll start with the starting rotation. I mean, we've kind of kept up with the rotation all year, so we know what's going on. Everybody is just very similar. Everybody is like within a run-ish, or I think actually all 4 of these guys who've been in the rotation all year are within a run of ERA. Their whips are all pretty much the same. Their innings pitched are all pretty much the same. We have a rotation of 4 identical guys, and then we don't know yet what we're going to get out of Noah Schultz, but 2 starts in, he's been an upgrade over Anthony Kay. And then the wins above replacement on these guys, Cannon and Burke are over 1. Martin, Shane Smith are, I mean, they're all within 0.4 wins above replacement of each other. So, and their FIPS, which I think is what WAR is based on, that's even closer. That's even narrower of a window that they all fit into. Our bullpen, though, has probably been the best part of this team. It's been way better than I anticipated it being. I mean, just looking at the ERAs of our relief pitchers here, nobody's above a 4, and then you go to Sir Anthony, he's also down at 297. Everybody's gotten a lot of work. Like Grant Taylor has the least amount of innings pitched of a reliever. I mean, then you got Dominguez because he's the closer. But I mean, somebody like Tyler Gilbert putting together a 277 ERA on the year, he's been awesome. And he's not even in the 70s of overall. I feel like wins above replacement doesn't carry a ton of weight when it comes to relief pitchers, but we'll check on it because we've been checking everybody else. Jimmy Herget, that's fake. He's been really good. It's just, I guess, his FIP is a little high. And I also would have kind of liked to do this for the minor leaguers. We won't go as in depth, but just real quick, home runs in AAA. We've got 4 guys over 10, sorting by batting average now. Riku Nishida, I really wish he had a higher potential because he's, as of right now, if that potential doesn't improve, not really going to get any better. But he'd be an interesting piece going forward if he did have at least a C potential. He's only 24. Caleb Bonham, one of our top prospects, 252 average, 349 OBP, 442 slug. He's doing really solid in AAA, 8 bombs. Pitching wise, really the only one we're concerned, I guess, with looking at is Drew Thorpe. Still feel like he's got a future with the team. His ERA is under 3. It's definitely gotten gradually worse over the course of the year. The rest of the AAA rotation isn't that great. Kai Bush, Baroa, and Duncan Davitt, and then Anthony Kay doesn't really count because he just got sent down and then got hurt. The AAA bullpen, though, has also been ridiculous. something about our bullpen organizational coaching. I guess also we didn't look at WAR for the AAA guys. I also don't really know what this is based on, because like, you know, wins above replacement, it's replacement level, and a replacement level player is like, or in theory it's supposed to be like a AAA level player playing in the big leagues. That's a replacement player. So I don't know what we're replacing here when we're counting WAR for AAA. But Riku has the most on the team position player wise with 2.1. But down here at the bottom, Tim Elko, negative 0.7 in AAA. That's supposed to be what he's good at, is hitting in AAA. And may as well look at some pitcher WAR too. Somehow Prelander Baroa, he didn't look like he was doing so good. Ryan Barucki, though, tied as a reliever. And then, yeah, just kind of going through really quick here. We actually have nobody negative. Our whole pitching staff, I guess, has been positively contributing to our AAA squad. Won't spend too much time in AA because there's really nobody at the AA level besides Braden Montgomery and Hagen Smith. And we kind of talked about both of them last episode. But let me just real quick sort by WAR, see who's doing what here at the minor league or at the AA level. Both of our catchers top 2 in WAR. And just going through here, I mean, Braden Montgomery to only have 0.5 wins above replacement in AA. He's going to take a while, a lot longer than it seems like he's going to take in real life to make it to the big leagues. And then going through here, man, dude, Wilfred Veras, negative 1.6 in AA. And then pitching WAR overall, we've Riley Gowans. Okay, he's our highest wins above replacement pitcher. Hagen Smith's got a 1.5 with an 11.51 Ks per 9. McDougal almost a 1 WAR. We want to see him doing good. I plan on trying to turn him into a legit starter. And then going through here, David Sandlin has the lowest, but I think that's just because he was on the AAA team and then got sent down here. But all right, there we go. What I should have done last episode. Now we're all caught up to speed with where we are as an entire organization at the All-Star break. So now that means we have to talk about the trade deadline and the plan, because all year my thought has kind of been see where we are and then go from there, what we want to do at the deadline. And I really, like, as much as I wanted to keep the hopes alive for us to make a playoff push this year, I really took a lot of time to think about this. And I think just if we're being real, we have to plan that we're not going to be contenders this season. We're 6 games below 500 at the All-Star break. It's not like the division's unwinnable, but the Royals and the Tigers are both solid. They're on cold streaks right now, so you got to imagine they're going to heat up again. We probably don't have much of a chance at the wild card either. The division is probably a clearer path, but we also have to be real with where this team's at. We're the 25th ranked team. There's too many holes to fill to say we can go out and like be buyers at the deadline. Like, I don't think giving up a couple of prospects to get like one bigger name guy to fill in anywhere here would like change the team into a playoff team. So I do think heading into the trade deadline, I'm going to focus on selling what we have. But at the same time, it's not totally like I'm selling the whole thing. I don't know what I want to say there. It's not like we have a ton to sell, I guess is what I'm saying. We have a lot of young guys on the team. The older veterans, I mean, I had already planned on trading Austin Hayes anyway. But like, other than him, it's not like there's really any veteran type guys that are everyday guys contributing to the team. Even if we're talking pitching, like the whole rotation, not really guys that I want to trade now that K is down in the minors. The bullpen, though, is where we would have to trade a couple of guys that I otherwise would have hung on to if we were trying to compete. Sean Newcomb's the more obvious one because he was only on a 1-year deal, so we wouldn't be able to bring him back next year. But the big one is I think I'll probably be looking to move Sir Anthony Dominguez. Like, you got to think, he was just an all-star. He's been really good lately. You know, he's up to that 77 overall. I feel like Grant Taylor is pretty much ready to assume the closer role. He's had a really good season himself. And like I said, with Sir Anthony Dominguez being hot lately, making the all-star team, I feel like his value is going to be at an all-time high, especially with him having a second year under contract. That might make him more valuable. You know, teams might look at his production and think, okay, $10 million for that production for a year and a half. But I did spend some time in between episodes looking at some potential trades, targeting some guys. I finally put some guys on the trade target list. All these guys are on the trade block. on their respective teams. I think Nathan Lucas here, he is like the number one guy I want to go after, which might seem weird because he's 31 years old, but the Blue Jays have him in the minors. He's got a ton of team control left. I mean, with that service time, he'll probably get past 2 years this year, so he'll probably only have 1 renewable year and then 3 ARB years instead of 2 renewable years. But yeah, he's, I mean, really good against righties. He's had a lot of progression against lefties too, +5 contact and power, 99 clutch, 86 vision right now with 68 discipline. He's a solid fielder. Like, I really think he'd be able to lock down left field for a while for us. Another one on the trade block, weirdly, is Sal Stewart from the Reds. The Reds are in contention this year, and they're doing it without Sal Stewart. He's in the minors. He did start the year in the majors, and he didn't really even do bad. I guess they sent him down. I do think he's a little bit more on the unrealistic side. They're looking for outfielder, corner outfielder. I really doubt we can just give them Hayes for Sal Stewart, but like maybe. Because if we look at their outfield, they've got JJ Bleday, who's a lefty, TJ Friedl, who's a lefty, Noelvi Marte, who is a righty but doesn't hit lefties all that well attribute-wise, and then Will Benson, who's a lefty. So it does seem like they could use a right-handed outfield bat that can hit lefties pretty well, and Austin Hayes is that. We talked about him, I think, last episode or 2 ago. I think it was 2 ago. But at that point, he was batting like 260 against lefties. He's dropped down to 244, so it's not looking as good to dangle that in front of somebody looking for a lefty masher. But maybe that 92 contact versus lefties, the 77 overall, maybe that would carry some weight. We can figure out some sort of deal to send Hayes to the Reds and get back Sal Stewart. That feels like the most unrealistic trade, though, that I've been looking at. The Lucas one for the Blue Jays, I mean, like I said, they have him in AAA right now. They've also, let me go to their lineup because they were managing their team really weird. They've already made a trade to get Matt Chapman back, but now they're platooning him with Addison Barger. So Matt Chapman is on the bench against right-handed pitching as an 86 overall. But also Okamoto, who they signed, he's just a bench guy, everyday bench guy. So is Anthony Santander. So that's like $35 million worth of free agents just this season that are just everyday on the bench, fill in when necessary type guys. So I don't know what they're doing, man. But to trade for Nathan Lucas, I think this is probably where I get rid of Sir Anthony. But I'm also thinking that potentially they might want to give me Jesus Sanchez because, again, they're not even playing Santander. They don't need a guy like Jesus Sanchez either. I don't really have high hopes for him. He would just kind of be a guy to fill in right now while we don't have a ton of outfielders, especially for getting rid of Hayes. But we also kind of have to do that for the budget. So I don't know. I don't know if Dominguez has enough value to get 2 guys. But then these 2 guys for the Yankees, I mean, kind of, again, it's capitalizing on another team's abundance. But Clark Schmidt right now is in the minors. He's a 79 overall. He'd be our second best pitcher overall wise if we brought him in. They have him on the trade block. Like I said, everybody on that targeting list is on the trade block. He would have, I think it was only 1 more year of team control. Yeah, because finishing this year would probably get him over 5 years of service time, but we'd have him for the rest of this year and next year. He could potentially then be a trade piece to sell next season. But then I also want Elmer. He's listed as a reliever, 22-year-old B potential, but he's got 77 stamina. So as soon as this season's over and we take full control of the team, we're not on Streamlined anymore, I would be changing him to a starter, and he'd probably instantly be like a mid-70. So this would be like the main piece of this trade if we tried to make a deal here. And the Yankees relief pitching is really shallow, so my hope here would be trading like Newcomb and Barucki, maybe also Fetty, just like give up a bunch of relievers. I was also thinking about getting rid of the no trade status, the untouchable status of Acuna, because he's not really untouchable, especially with how he's been playing. I'll probably take that off anyway, but I could also throw him into this trade. That might make it more realistic to get 2 solid guys like this, because they're also looking for shortstop, and Acuna has the secondary position of shortstop. And then the last big one is I was looking at the Pirates, who, if you remember from last episode, they were in contention. They were, I think, leading the NL Central. But their team is a little on the weak side, hitting-wise. It's the pitching that's the strength. And if you look right now, they have Spencer Horwitz as their second baseman, also batting against lefties, also starting against lefties. And he does not hit lefties. So I just so happen to have a second baseman that mashes lefties. He's batting .318 against lefties. So I think the Pirates would be a perfect team to try and send Lenyn Sosa to. And again, the initial trade that I built out might be a little on the unrealistic side. I don't know, but I would go after this Florentino guy, 19 years old, see potential, but he's their #1 prospect, actually, 48th overall. So he's probably like a 79 potential, basically a B at that point. But I'd go after him, and then it was Anthony Solometo, another young C potential, 67 overall, and then Mason Montgomery. We can stock up on another Montgomery if this goes through, but B potential, 68 overall, 25-year-old left-handed relief pitcher who is very weird attribute wise. So I do think I'm gonna start, well, if you can even call this starting the episode at this point. I've somehow already been recording for half an hour, but I'm gonna start things today by putting in some offers. Actually, I'm gonna sim this day first and then put in an offer so that we actually play a game before the offers come back and I have to then revise the offers. So we'll go ahead and sim this last off day to get to the Toronto series, and well, we get a trade offer coming in here. So I guess putting guys on the targeting list, that's how you get some offers coming in. But I'm not liking this one immediately, just because, like I said, the main guy I kind of want from the Yankees is Elmer. I also don't want to give up Sosa to the Yankees. I'd rather save him to try and send him to the Pirates, because I feel like that trade makes a lot more sense. But I like that they're interested in Lamont Wade, because that's also somebody I want to get rid of. So I'm just going to see what they say if I take Sosa off of here, take this Cade Smith off of here, add in Elmer. I'm assuming Sosa for them would have been like the main guy they're going after. So I doubt that this would work, but I'm also gonna throw Baraki on here instead of him. Like, I really doubt this goes through, because we upped the value on their side and we probably lowered the value on our side. But I want to send off some of these offers, man. I gotta learn how the trading works too. I gotta learn the values and stuff when we don't have that meter now. I haven't played any franchise on my own. I haven't been sending off trades on my own to learn on my own. So let's at least offer this. Let's counter theirs with this. Again, I really doubt this one goes through. But I just kind of want to see if they maybe counter back. But I'm just going to go ahead and put in all these other trades we were just talking about. I can't stress enough, I don't think this one is going to go through. But just to see where we're at, if we have anything here, I'm going to try Hayes for Stewart straight up. See what they say, if they say anything. I'm also going to get started working with the Jays here to get Lucas. I'm going to offer Dominguez for Lucas and Sanchez. Just straight up. This one I could potentially see going through. Like, I don't think it should, but I could see it going through. So we're going to send this one off, and then the last one I'm going to do is that Lenyn Sosa one. So Sosa to the Pirates for Solometo, Mason Montgomery, and then that center fielder Florentino. And who knows, this one could go through too, because there's 2 C potentials, a B potential reliever for a guy who really fills a pretty big hole they have right now as somebody trying to be a legitimate contender. So who knows, man? We got 4 trades all sent off as of right now, and we got to get through this game against the Jays to see what happens with them. If they all get a response immediately in one day, I'm excited. But all right, let's finally get some game going here today. First series out of the All-Star break against the Jays, the #1 team in the AL East. 57-40. See if we can start getting back on track. And well, I was kind of hoping we would get into a critical situation so that we wouldn't have to immediately go right onto this. It looks like we got 4 responses right away at the bottom there. It says 1 out of 4. So they're rejecting the Lenyn trade. It says the fit isn't there, which I don't understand at all. If they don't think Lenyn fits on their team, then they don't know their team. They also say they'd be happy to revisit if the offer significantly improves, so we might not be working with the Pirates, which might mean we could and should send Lenyn to the Yankees if they're interested in him. We also got to find out what they said. So let's go to the next one here. They reject Austin Hayes, and they reject him pretty conclusively. They like Austin Hayes, but they find the overall value of my offer insulting, which I don't blame them for. This was definitely the most lopsided trade I offered here. So there is a chance, though, that we can continue working with the Reds. They just need more. Moving on, though. Third offer, another reject. The offer missed on both fit and value. Well, now that's interesting. Value I can understand. Fit I can't. They're looking for a closing pitcher, and I offered them an all-star closer. And then finally, the Yankees offer. They countered back, and I am so okay with this one. Are you kidding me? All they did was add Corey Lee. I'm trying to get back Corey Lee. I feel like I misspoke. I am trying to get rid of Corey Lee. He's on the trade block. I was looking at teams to potentially send him to. This is perfect. I will be accepting this, dude. This is insane, actually. So we will be getting Clark Schmidt and Elmer Rodriguez, and I am not really getting rid of anything I care about. Sean Newcomb, obviously, he was really good this year for me. 3.38 ERA and 41 appearances. He was like the go-to lefty for me, but we're not really in the best position to compete this year, and he was only a one-year deal guy, somebody I had plans to trade away from the beginning. So really the first trade kind of the deadline season here. We're gonna go ahead and push this one through. I'm accepting it. Look at that. Oh, and at least how this was automatically handled. Not how I wanted it to be. I mean, they might fix things after we sim a day, but again, with me being streamlined, it's up to the CPU to fit everybody on the roster. So after that move, Elmer is now the one who is on the team, and this would be his big league debut. Now he has no service time. I don't know if he wasn't, I don't remember, maybe he wasn't on their 40-man, now he's on mine, or he does have an option used up, so he probably was on a 40-man. But Clark Schmidt is in AAA still. He needs to be brought up. He will be our second highest rated pitcher. So I don't know, I'm just not gonna mess with anything myself. I'm gonna sim one more day and hope that gets ironed out here. I'm also just gonna add this Florentino guy to my targets now that we have a couple openings, just so maybe the Pirates will work with us, especially now that I still have Sosa. I didn't have to get rid of him, but I'm not going to put in any more offers yet. I want to get through this day, see how the CPU handles things, if they change things around and bring up Clark Schmidt. So I guess real quick, let's look at game one of this series. Kyle Teal, 3 hits. Montgomery went deep, but then that was somehow the only run that was scored. Davis Martin, 4 earned in 5 1/3, and Newcomb gave me an inning and a third scoreless in his last outing with the team. Let's see, game 2 here. Sean Burke on the mound. We get a win, and we didn't actually sim through the day because our AAA team didn't have a valid lineup, so we'll have to do that. But let's see what we did here first. Teal went deep, 2 hits and a walk, 3-hit game from Colson. Feels like we could have scored more than 4 with 12 hits and 3 walks. Sean Burke, though, 7 1/3, no runs allowed, only 2 hits allowed. Scoreless outing for Grant Taylor. All right, AA's fixed now, so let's sim past this day. We got no offers coming in, but we do have some notifications here. Guy got called up to AA. A couple guys called up to AA. Billy Carlson got moved up to AAA. I don't know about that. He wasn't even doing good in AA yet. Drew Baker up to AAA. What? Oh, okay. Well, this really does feel like the last surge of March to October style frustrating automatically handled CPU moves, because why would Caleb Bonham be getting called up to the big leagues after what we did? Clark Schmidt's being left in AAA. Oh, that's why, because he's not even on the 40-man somehow. Was he not on the 40-man for the Yankees? How would he not be on the Yankees 40-man? But also, why would the CPU not add him? Because I think they would have had to add Bonham. Like, there's no way he was on the 40-man yet, because he has no options used up. So they added Bonham to the 40-man. So the CPU has the capability to add somebody to the 40-man, but they chose to add Bonham instead of Clark Schmidt, which is even more dumb considering that we had been imbalanced. We've had 7 relievers instead of 8 ever since Caro got called up, and then Corey Lee stayed up. I want 8 relievers, but no, I guess we're back to having 5 guys on the bench and still 7 guys in the bullpen instead of an 8th guy. I mean, I can only get so frustrated because literally if I wanted to change this, all I could do is go here, hit square, and now we're in full control. But I've said that a million times. We're not doing that. This first season of this White Sox franchise is about playing on Streamlined. Sticking with that all season because the developers said this is their replacement for not having March to October as a dedicated mode anymore. So we're seeing how similar it is. And you know what? Weird roster stuff that I don't agree with and don't understand, that fits right in with what March to October used to do. I don't know though, I really would have still liked another couple years of development for Bonham before I was even gonna think about calling him up. That's what really sucks here, is now it starts the clock of him getting his options used up. But like, I don't even have a spot to get him in the lineup anywhere. He's just not good enough yet rating wise. All right, well, we still haven't played a game yet. So I want to finish this series and see if a critical situation pops up before I start firing off some more offers. Got a chance to take a series against the Jays here. I think they've got their weakest starter on the mound. We've got Cannon, so let's see. Now, okay, I got to fix my AA team, I guess, before the game happens. Man, I'm also realizing I should be maybe looking at this to keep up with trades that have happened, but the Orioles are selling. I mean, we saw last episode they traded away Trevor Rogers. That was a trade that actually popped up, but look at what else they've done. They traded away Felix Bautista, they traded away Taylor Ward, and they traded away Ryan Helsley and Tyler O'Neill. I'm just seeing that too. I didn't see that until I started talking about this. All right, well, the rosters are set. The lineups are set for the minors, so let's now get through this Toronto series, and we straight up sim again. Custom game entry is on, right? Nothing's changed here. I want to play. We lose again, though, so we lose the series. Bonnemer got in the game, though. That actually isn't a good sign. Montgomery might have just gotten hurt then if Bonnemer came in as a pinch runner after just one at-bat. Hit a double for his first career hit. He also made his first career error. Cannon had another good start, but the bullpen actually gave it up, and it was Elmer Rodriguez. Who would have thought? The guy who shouldn't be here right now and shouldn't be in a bullpen at all doesn't even record an out in his MLB debut. 2 earned runs. I don't know how his ERA is 16.95 when he didn't even record any out, didn't record an inning pitched. And yeah, we're probably going to see Montgomery here on the injured list. Strained bicep, so he's okay, good. He's not on the injured list. He's just out for a couple days. I feel like my head's kind of spinning right now. I just want a critical situation. I want to play a game, and then we probably would call it for the episode at that point. Might pick back up with the trade stuff next time out. Let me just see a critical situation. No, we simmed through another one to start the series against the Rangers now. Only can muster 2 runs again. Acuna hit a homer, though, and he started at short, so maybe I didn't notice that, but maybe the CPU against lefties had Acuna fill in as the starter at short, which actually that works for me. But Schultz, for the first time, got lit up a little bit. 4 earned in 4 innings. Elmer, though, turned things around in his second outing, 2 scoreless innings. So, all right, how about this time? Shane Smith against DeGrom. Game 2 against the Rangers. It's another, okay, what is happening? And also, oh my God, dude, oh, I've forgotten about the signed draft picks. Has it been doing this automatically, actually? Because dudes are on the screen here. Nothing popped up. Like in the past, when I've played franchise last year, it would pop up saying today's the day to sign draft picks. So I'm actually kind of thinking with Streamlined, this was something that's handled automatically, so it didn't bother telling me about it. So what's going on here? I just want to make sure. Okay, Bench was signed, so that's good. I really just wanted to make sure that Johnny Bench got signed, but he's not in the pool anymore, so the CPU signed him, so we're all good there. I'm gonna try and put in an offer here to Nicky Walker just to get him freed up so I can start like that other guy here, James Dunning. Since we picked him without scouting him, his motivation's low. I want to get him on the board, so I'm gonna start offering some contracts here. Hopefully we can get him on the board. Yep, Nicky Walker signs immediately, so now we can get James Dunning on the board. I should probably also move him up to the first spot so he actually gets +3. It actually, you know, it might be helpful if I just try and sign these 2 guys, because if I free up spots, more motivation goes to Dunning. So I'm going to try and sign Chandler. His motivation actually goes up 5% from what it shows here, because he's only demanding 1.2, but the lowest we can offer him is 1.79. So I'm going to try and offer him that right away, and he signs. That's big. That's the #1 ranked guy that I was able to pick with our 2nd round pick. Really excited to see how he turns out when we get to see the potentials and overalls. I guess I'll also go ahead and try and lock up Al Triola here. Kind of same deal. Can't offer him any lower. Actually, that's exactly his demand. And he also signed, so James Dunning now is the only guy left that needs to sign, but we can't offer him a contract yet. He has to get up to 50%. So +6 motivation every 2 days should get him there on time. He'll need 3 rounds of 2 days to get up to 50, but then we'll also learn a little bit more about him scouting wise. This episode's been all over the place, man. Yeah, I'm gonna switch it to manual here too. Yeah, I guess maybe since contracts are locked to automatic, maybe that's how that was handled. Because like I turned scouting to manual, and the only other things you can is free agency, trades, and then the lineup. But all right, good that we got Bench signed though. Good that we got Chandler signed. We got a couple more exclamation points here. A guy called up to AA, and a guy called up to AAA, so that means we had a AAA injury. Prelander Baroa out for probably the rest of the year, 2 to 3 months, torn pec. All right, really would have preferred Hagen Smith to get called up to AAA though, instead of this Riley Gowans here at a 58 overall. And I'm gonna need to put in some more trade offers. You know what? I feel like I can't sim again just to try and play a game before I make some more offers here. We gotta get Austin Hayes off of this team. We gotta get Nathan Lucas. Like, I think in terms of trade priority, I wanted Elmer and Schmidt by proximity. That was probably the second most. Nathan Lucas is like the guy I want the most here before the deadline. So we gotta figure something out with the Jays, because I need him. Oh, and you know what? Before I forget to, I'm gonna remove Acuna from my untouchables, because he's not untouchable to me right now. If the right trade comes through for him, I won't hesitate to move him. And yeah, I want to check. He is starting shortstop against lefties now with the Montgomery injury. Let me also put Sir Anthony on my trade block. I don't know if that does anything, but you know, that's who I'm looking to trade to Toronto. I mean, like, I don't understand why the feedback I got from the Jays trade said the fit doesn't make sense, because like I said, they are looking for a closer. Jeff Hoffman hasn't been their closer. He must have gotten off to a bad start. So right now their closer is this Tommy Nance. They had to have had a different closer at some point, because there's no way. Nance has 5 saves, Hoffman has 1, and then this Spencer Miles has 1. Where are their saves coming from? Oh, it was Tyler Rogers, but he got sent down now for some reason. Game. Or specifically the Blue Jays, because they are making some very weird decisions with their roster. Tyler Rogers had 30 saves with a 2.06 ERA, and they sent him down. All right, well, I'm going to try this. Still going to be going after Jesus Sanchez in addition to Nathan Lucas, because we kind of have to get somebody back who costs a little bit of money with the cost of Sir Anthony Dominguez. If we don't have Sanchez in here, it'd take him over budget. But I'm also going to throw in Derek Hill. I mean, with the wording that they gave me back in response after the last offer, I feel like we were more than a Derek Hill off from making the trade. But it does say they're also looking for left fielders. Derek Hill has a secondary of left. He hasn't been good this year, but he can field, he can run. He's a good, like, bench backup guy, especially since I'm taking one of their bench backup guys. So I'm just going to send this one through and see if this one seems any closer. I'm also going to try Lenine to the Pirates again, and I'm just going to get rid of Solometo from the trade. So if I remember right, they were pretty harsh about not wanting to do this one when I also had Solometo in here, so we'll see if they're any less harsh about how they reject this one, because I imagine they're gonna reject this one too, but we'll see. And I'm not gonna bother with another Austin Hayes for Sal Stewart attempt right now, because I feel like that one, I think that's the one they said insulting, or actually I don't know now, I don't remember. Everything's a blur, but I'll figure out a Hayes move probably in between episodes. I just want a critical situation to pop up. I want to play the game today, and we got to avoid a sweep here. We are, man, we really, like, I really did think going into July we might have still been able to contend, and then we went on a skid going into the All-Star break. Now coming out of the All-Star break, we're even worse. We're 9 games below 500, maybe on the verge of getting swept. Yep, we get swept. Trade rejected. I think, okay, so this is probably less harsh than the one before, but this is the same thing the Blue Jays said the last time I attempted that trade. So maybe we're getting somewhere. Looks like we don't have a response from the Jays today though. But man, another flat offensive game. Acuna hit another home run, and it was Tyler Gilbert this time giving up multiple runs. Davis Martin had a solid start. Oh man, it's a good thing I decided to sell and not to attempt to even compete or to even think about it, because yeah, we are even more not in that position anymore. All right, and Montgomery's back in the lineup, and I guess it automatically, not only automatically brought him back in, but also automatically, well, no, never mind. I thought it just automatically put him back in the 3-hole, but it actually automatically changed the entire lineup. That's fun, game. That's fun when I have lineup management on manual and you automatically do it just because a guy came back from a minor injury. Do I even bother at this point, actually, now that I think about it? If the season's done, if we're 10 games below 500 before the trade deadline, if we're not competing, does it even matter that I have the lineup exactly the way I want it? I think the only thing I'm going to bother changing is swapping Baldwin from DH to left, because I think he's a better left fielder than Vargas would be. He's faster with better reaction. And then we'll just have Sosa DHing, and I'll give Murakami the reps at first base again. Give him a chance to get better from where he had been fielding wise. And then I guess it's same thing against lefties. I think everybody in is the same except the Teal and Caro platoon. So all right, this is the lineup now, I guess. I also I guess I kind of forgot about the Mariners. We were trying to make a trade with them before. Victor Robles, though, is now in the IL. That was somebody who I was trying to get. I was also trying to get Lazaro Montes. So I guess actually I could just add him here. Maybe the Mariners would send me some kind of offer knowing that I'm interested in him. But all right, you know what? I'm going to sim this day. We'll see if we get a response from the Jays. So let's see. We do get a response from the Jays. They rejected it, and I don't like what they say there. After considering some alternatives, they've decided not to proceed with the offer right now. So that makes it seem like it was a lot closer, but they didn't like trade with somebody else, did they? No, it says Lucas is still on the team. Yeah, Sanchez is still on the team. So I don't know what they were saying about considering alternatives. All right, I'm gonna try this again, but just throwing in Lucas Sims also. Like, I wouldn't think this would be a needle mover, but I noticed he went up 1 more overall, so now he's progressed 5 overall. And I don't know, the way they worded it, it really did seem like they were close last time. I would have hoped that they would have like at least tried to counter or something, but I also don't know if maybe it's their budget that's holding him back. So I also thought about maybe trying to take Scherzer off their books, but he's also only getting paid $3 million. I don't feel like as the White Sox, I'm in a position to be taking like a Jose Barrios off the books for them, who's almost $20 million for 2 more seasons after this. So I don't know. For now, at least I'm going to send this one off with the addition of Sims, because he's also somebody I'm going to get rid of at some point. And we'll just see, man. If I could do Sir Anthony for Lucas straight up, I would. But again, it's their budget situation that's making that not possible. All right, but just one more try here to get into a game, because I really feel like I need time between an episode to regather and decide, you know, further trade strategies, what I might want to do. But I don't want a whole episode to go by without me playing the game. So like, please get me into a game here. We're back at home for the first time since the break. The Astros are coming to town, another very good team with a winning record. So let's see what we do this time. We sim again. What is happening? Why can't I play? I don't think we've gone through this many games ever without a critical situation popping up. Had a couple homers, Baldwin and Vargas. Vargas also made another error. I feel like that's starting to become an issue. Sean Burke got lit up, Elmer got lit up, and we didn't hear anything back about the trade. The Blue Jays are considering a trade to improve their depth at left field. Then tell me why they have left field depth in Nathan Lucas on the trade block in the minor leagues, and why they have Anthony Santander on the bench. You know, I think I'm gonna also put in this offer to the Reds. So Dominguez will be out there twice, so maybe there'll be a bidding war on him. The Reds did say they like Austin Hayes in their feedback, so maybe, I mean, it didn't really seem like they were anywhere near wanting to get rid of Sal Stewart for Hayes, so I doubt adding Sir Anthony would move that needle, but I also figure I'll add in some nothing relief pitcher just to keep the positions balanced. I feel like it's not a good look to trade 2 like established MLB players for 1 prospect. I feel like that's not super realistic, so at least the player count is equal on both sides. I don't know, man. But I don't know. We've got 2 trade offers out right now. We're like a week away from the deadline. I've almost been recording for 2 hours, but we haven't played a game yet. I'm going to sim 1 more game. Regardless, this is going to be the end of the episode. I would like to play a little bit today. If not, then we don't. But game 2 against the Astros, and no, and the trade was rejected. Exact same response we got last time about the Jays. So that's why I'm thinking maybe just they don't want Sir Anthony. Maybe we'd have to give up a Herget. Looks like no response though from the Reds, and we lost 10-2. Yeah, not really anything to dive into here, except Cannon didn't have that bad of a start, but just horrible. I'm sorry. I feel like I should say that about today's episode. I mean, like, obviously we're going to spend a lot of time in the menus coming up to the trade deadline because, you know, we gotta we got to figure out what we're doing. We got to make some moves. But I was hoping that we could supplement the menu time with some games, and no game popped up. I guess also, okay, we still have to at least do 2 more days before we could offer to James Dunning. I was hoping we'd learn a little bit more about him, but all we've learned is the lower end of that potential window, I think, went from 65 to 67. So technically that can only mean good things, but still, it also didn't pop up to tell me to try and sign him. So I think this is still, yeah, it's still automatic, even though I switched it to manual there. One thing I will say is this really does, maybe for the most it's felt like all year, feel like March to October, weird roster stuff that I don't agree with, that I wouldn't have done on my own. I just have a weird feeling right now. I feel like I shouldn't end the episode, but there's nothing else left to do, and I feel like I need a more solid plan now, actually heading into the deadline next episode. I'm just all over the place, guys. I'm sorry. I am just gonna go ahead and end things here. So thanks for hitting that like button if you enjoyed. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can see the actual trade deadline next time out. But that's where I'm gonna leave you guys today. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.